All right, we are recording. So, who wants to
Oh,
begin our recap from last week? Do we all remember how our week before last?
Well, Saz was on a roll with puns. Will was extremely cheesy with his cottage cheese jokes. Yeah,
Dangerously cheesy.
it ain't easy being cheesy.
Oh my god.
We came here. I feel like I'm cutting out a bunch of stuff, but
Well, we had the turtle stampede.
oh, that's right. There was the whole turtle stampede with all
Yep.
the skill checks.
That was
First
kind of
we
the
were
first part of it.
threatened by the corpse of Ribbit.
Yeah.
Who's like questioning why we're doing things. Well, being like, "Do you want to save lives? Then stop what you're doing," kind of stuff.
Then dominated a bunch of people to have.
And then, as we're heading out, because we learned about going to the west to meet up with a con associate.
Apparently, all of Brindlewood decided to come greet us
Yes, by staring
via
at us and
this
start running at
celestial
us.
being.
Tolman breaks the seal. Was it? It was Tolman that broke the seal, right?
It was Will.
Will broke the seal.
I couldn't break the seal. I wasn't strong enough.
Right.
Khan
And,
told us not to trust his creator.
Yeah,
Correct?
Contastachin or something like that. And
Concashton.
Concussion, right. And then Turtle Stampede started destroying Brindlewood, but we managed to
Redirected?
redirect them, herd them, otherwise convince them through the power of magic and song.
Yeah. And everything was fine.
And we managed to escape.
We also saved a
And then
collapsing building from crushing hundreds of people. Yeah.
That's true.
And then Mr. Will decided to see some invisibility stuff and realize that some imps were tracking us. And then the stars have eyes.
Yep.
So we took shelter in the cottage, managed to catch and kill one of the imps.
The others ran away.
Hence the cottage cheese joke.
Mm-hmm. It's a cottage industry.
Took a rest in the hut, or I'm sorry, Tolman's tiny tent.
Yes.
And then
Don't make me summon my big disc.
the next day we came. The next morning we came here, and someone, I think it was Tolman, noticed that the mountain was turned a particular direction, or pointing a particular direction on the seal on the ground.
Yep.
And then when we went to the other seal, we moved it so that it was pointing what we believed was the correct direction. It opened. Some fancy doodads came out.
Some armor, some boots,
Armor,
a ring,
boots,
and
a ring,
drum.
and a drum. Tolman decided to identify it, and then apparently casting a ritual spell of any sort near the well. And I don't know that it was necessarily a ritual that did it. Maybe it was just magic in general attracting them. Some baddies came out.
Yep, the floating eye defilers and a lesser defiler.
Threw down with us. What is...
Yeah, defilers almost devoured us, but we managed to beat them back. And there was an opportunity for you guys to consume more essence. Well, I suppose I could have, but that's not happening. We don't know how Silver String feels about evil essences.
Thankfully, Will knocked some sense into Tolman and convinced him not to consume it.
Don't
touch that essence.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. It's evil.
And now we're all staring at this corrupted well, being like, well, what now?
That was a deep cut. I don't know if anybody remembers Time Bandits.
A little bit.
Yeah, and now we're staring at this well, trying to decide whether we
We should
Try to-
definitely try to rest before we do anything.
Yeah.
At least
We're
a
trying to
short
figure out
rest.
what to do. Yeah.
Hmm.
And if we get outside of the aura, I think I might be able to identify these items safely.
Do not know.
Because these seem to be gifts from Cone.
The stash did have like a little turtle symbol that made you believe it was Khan. Yeah, for sure. And the
So-
vortex is disrupting specifically your rituals.
Question becomes, okay, well, I guess that
I'm
answers
just
that
kidding.
question.
I'm just kidding.
Just runs away.
Bye.
I was going to say, the question becomes, do we fall back to try to rest and
Or figure this out now.
identify, or do we push forward? I think if we push forward, we're going to run into more trouble.
I'd rather us
True.
be prepared for that.
Yeah, I think taking a breather is probably a good idea.
Maybe we go back to the platform with the other sigil across the sturdy bridge.
Not the rickety bridge.
At least
Sigil.
that way we're somewhat isolated, but able to recover and prepare.
Hmm.
Right, that's probably a plan. That's as good as anything I've heard.
All right, so we begin our session with our group immediately turning away from this well and just getting out of the vortex of magic funk that is currently being drawn down into the depths, the black pit of that well. You move across the more sturdy bridge to where you see that first mountainous symbol that you did tie to Melora in the previous session. A ancient and supposedly dead goddess that you have heard of before, mostly from Kon. And now you stand there. I presume you're going to begin ritually casting Identify?
Yes.
Alright. As we're accompanied by the steady breathing of Ross.
Oh, apologies. I'm hot micing. Got it.
Well, try to take a rest. Hopefully nothing pops out at us.
Do we have a preference of an order for the items?
Wait, are we taking a short or long rest? I heard long rest, but my
No,
brain likes to trick me.
Short rest. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Probably
All right.
shorter. Yeah.
You each find a nice, comfy, moss-covered bit of rock to sit upon. The stone here is about waist height, and you're able to easily lean against it as you begin to gently rest your weary bones from the previous attack. Some of you far more damage than the others. I think Tolman saw his life flash before his eyes once. At least once.
Oh my.
So, I'm not sure because I logged in and I have full health, so I don't know.
I healed you up a bunch, I think it was.
I know you healed Saz for 14, and
So I was able to heal up Saz and heal up you. But I was not able to heal up Silverstringer myself, and I saved 1 point of lay on hands in case something
Yes.
crazy went wrong. Is anybody else's sheet bugged? Like a bunch of my tokens on my sheet look broken.
Mine
Oh,
seems fine.
that happened to me
before.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you just have to relog,
Okay,
exit, and come back in.
take a little shorty rest here.
Yeah, everything seems fine on your sheet to me, but
And then, how much is the silver string healing?
1.
1?
1.
Dang!
Yeah, 1d6 and you roll the 1.
good job. Good job.
Yeah,
Silverstring.
right?
Tired and a little out of breath, Silverstring plays you a tune that seems a little more distracting at first, but it does eventually calm the nerves. Meanwhile, Tolman, what item are you identifying first?
I think I'm going to start with the armor. and then move to the boots, and then the drum, and then the ring. I would do it in that order. So if we get interrupted, that would be how the order of things that I would be doing them.
All right.
Makes sense.
Basically big to small.
All right. I will post these in game handouts. I don't have these on Forge because I wouldn't be me if I didn't procrastinate that. This armor has a definite turtle motif to it. It is made out of steel, not adamantite. So I guess it would be a quote-unquote down guard in that sense. But it's covered in turtle, like the pauldrons look like turtle shells. It is very, very turtle themed. And this is what it does. I'll give you a moment to look over that, everyone.
Do 2 game handouts.
Into game
Oh, damn.
handouts.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That is very nice.
Very versatile. And there's probably a reason why you're getting a swim speed and breathing underwater.
Yep, for sure. We're just gonna drop you in the water now.
You're going in the well, buddy.
Goodbye.
Do you remember that time when the cleric almost drowned in the astral sea? Like, boy,
Ooh.
you still have
Plus
a ring
2
of water
armor,
breathing, yeah.
And your aura doubles in size. Damn.
Yeah, that's really good.
That's
All
pretty
for the
awesome.
sake of movement.
If you don't move, yeah. So it's kind of like tanky. You stand
Brace
your
for
ground.
impact.
You shall not pass.
That's all I can picture is brace for impact.
Pull into
Yeah.
your shell.
So you'll learn a theme, and my theme when it comes to magic items is martial characters tend to get stuff that gives them more options, while magic casters just give them stuff that empower their current options usually.
So the opposite of the Wizards of the Coast approach. Got it.
Well, wizards get magic casters in general get enough tools on the tool
Yeah.
belt, so I try to give. So you're going for the boots next, right?
I 100%
yes.
agree, by the way.
Yeah, the Wizards of the Coast.
Cones, stompers.
Method
Ooh, for a
is-
monk.
Let's see. When you hit a melee attack using these boots, you can concentrate. Oh.
Damn.
Hey, you got your own retribution. As an action, teleport your spells to an unoccupied space within 90 feet of you. Thunderous boom.
Thunder step? Oh, and
Yeah,
it fits your
it's just-
thunder theme, like thunder lightning theme.
But it's
Oh, this
just-
could help me get away from shit. So now
Well,
I'm not gonna
read the
jump
last
in
bit too.
and get my ass. I'm like, you may immediately take an attack against that enemy. Oh, okay.
So you can use
Okay.
it to get away, but you could also use it to get somewhere else where there's enemies.
I know.
You're out of
It-
reach. Not anymore.
Thunder step and then just punch him in the face. Yeah. Great.
And that's a unique range too. 90 feet. I like that.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
crazy because you throw that on top of a monk's already crazy movement speed, and my mobility just never stops.
Zoom,
You
zoom.
think you're out of range at 200 feet? Guess again.
Nice.
Okay.
So the thunderclap is a action. Okay. Nice.
But you still can attack. You still get a full attack action as long as you
Teleport within 5
5
feet.
feet of
Yeah,
an enemy. Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Alright, gotta add these two.
It's like Thunderstep because that's basically where I stole it from. However, you can't take anyone with you like you can with Thunderstep.
That's fine. The trade-off is, I can do an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hello there.
Basically. Hello, bitch slap.
And you get a choice at who takes damage when Thundersteps is just everybody within 10 feet. So you can friendly fire Thunderstep, but you can't friendly fire this.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. So the next one is
The drum. Because, a bard can never have too many instruments.
Bum, bum.
there. You go. You literally have to be a bard and a warlock to attune to it. So almost like it was made specifically for you.
Whee!
Sona's like, alright,
That's
I've made you guys
expected.
some goodies, but you're gonna have to get your asses beat to go and get them.
As an action, regain 1 Bardic Inspiration feature. And 1 Warlock spell slot. Ooh. That property can't be used again, so it's like a combination of...
That's cool.
It's like a combination
That's
of
awesome.
Rhythm Maker's Drums and a Pact of the...
Mm-hmm.
Rod of the Pack Keeper. Yay! Whenever the target of one of you fails a saving throw, you can then take your choice of either Psychic or Force equal to your Charisma modifier.
Cool.
This does not interfere with sleep and hypno pattern or can damage now. That's sweet.
Question about that. So if he were to use something like Hypnotic Pattern, would everyone that fails take that damage?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Bard blasting. Thank you.
Say hello to Mass Suggestion.
At 6th level. I think we're a little far away from that.
Yeah, I know.
Still a great spell.
And finally, are you ready for the ring?
Let's
Yes.
see what
Ready for
gets.
Tolman's goodie? The ring does nothing.
Another ring. Yay!
The ring does nothing. I'm joking.
It's a standard gold ring.
How blinged is Tolman in now?
I
Is it
have
in Yalka's heart?
1 ring, yeah, on Yalka's heart, and then I have the book.
Yalka's heart is massive too. That's like one of those rings that like fits on 2 fingers, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a 10 carat like ruby, basically.
And this is a ring of spell storing with an extra effect.
When casting a spell from this ring, you can treat the spell as if it was cast at a level equal to your intelligence modifier. That's why you asked if it was +5. Aha.
Oh!
That's really good.
Oh, wow.
Yo.
Yo? Yeah, no kidding. And that's a
Nice.
once per day feature.
So you can have like a level 1 in there.
A level
and
1
a
magic
level
missiles.
4, yeah. And then it becomes a level 5 when you cast it.
Huh.
I could put command in there. You want a level 5 command?
I mean, damn.
Damn.
So, here's the thing. We still only have 3 attunement slots.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I made my comment earlier. Like, I feel like this campaign is really stretching this attunement slot caps.
Well, and
Yep.
the Anyalka's heart takes up 2
of
attunement
them?
slots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Yalka's heart,
man.
by the way, for Sazota, is immunity to fire damage, and I think it's resistance to acid and poison. So it's
Correct.
like a big hunky ring, and it takes like 2 attunement slots.
Yo. Well, I've got to pick what I want to unattune to, and I'm considering the
Yeah.
Dragonhide belt.
Very cool. I'm looking at the same thing. I'm like, do I unattune from the headband of intellect? Holy Christ.
Do I be dumber again?
A lot dumber.
I've also got to figure out how to add stuff to your inventory with this sheet because, boy, Foundry changes things and then you don't know how to use it anymore. And the last time I added something to Foundry was through, plutonium, which I don't imagine we can do that with these. So let's see.
I mean, you can import an item that's semi-similar and then copy and paste the
different effects.
Yeah, the different effects and edit all the extra stuff.
Yeah. You can cobble it together.
Yeah, I can't not take this ring, or attune to this ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think you lose attunement to your book, but that's really about it.
Well, I mean, that or in Yalka's heart.
Yeah, that's true.
It's in Yalka's heart. It's coming off.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that's the route I'm going because I get too much versatility out of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't technically have to attune to the Magna Libre. That was like a familiar bonding, if I remember that correctly.
You're correct. You're not attuned to the Magna Libre.
Okay.
Right now, I think you just have the book and then Yalka's heart.
Okay, so this poses another interesting question. Does anybody want the Anyalka's heart?
I think we're all too stalked.
Immunity to fire damage and resistance to acid and poison.
I feel like
Would
this
be
is a great problem to have in like a D&D campaign. We got too much cool stuff.
This is a very unique problem to have.
Yeah, it would be amazing, but I've also got the spear and the cursed missile attractor shield.
Can we have a 4th attunement slot, DM?
I could.
How many levels
I
of
could
Artificer
give-
do you need for that?
I have no idea.
Like
I could-
10 or 12 or something. Yeah.
give up the attunement to the shield with remove curse at some point.
Well, now the problem is, remember, Yalka's is 2 attunement slots. I don't think you want to give up 2 items.
I don't know. I don't know if the armor requires attunement. It doesn't say it does.
Your armor doesn't.
Attunement by a paladin, yeah.
Oh, this armor does, but your adamantite doesn't.
Yes.
Also, I will say there is a boon that gives you an extra attunement slot in the DMG, and you do know a divine entity. Just
Alright, so it's between the Dragonhide belt and the Eldritch Claw tattoo for me.
Both are good.
I don't know what the Dragonhide belt is. I don't have Fizzban's book.
Basically, I get a +1 bonus to saving throw DCs for my key features, and I can use an action to regain key points equal to a roll of my martial arts die.
Attunement required.
Because I'm not giving up my bracers of defense. I already get smacked around a lot, and those things have actually saved me from quite a few blows, so...
I think last combat they kept you from getting hit like 4 times.
Exactly.
I hurled a lot of 18s against you. It was so like, as a DM, it's like, as a player, it's like, yeah, suck it. But as a DM, it's like, no, I was so close.
Exactly. I don't want to make your life easier, no offense. He's gonna make mine harder. Oh no. The Eldritch Claw tattoo is extremely useful, though. But...
It's 15-foot reach for like your
Yeah.
unarmed attacks for a minute. Yeah.
Exactly. It's really useful, and I feel kind of silly for not having used it yet at all. I might just unattune from the Dragonhide belt. Just for now. I feel like the good thing about having more than one thing to attune to is you can rotate your attunements. I'll just import.
That is very true. You can rotate them. Now the downside of that is like when you get caught with like the wrong one, right?
Right.
So as you lay down your ritual toolman and begin identifying these items one at a time, very quickly the realization dawns on you that these items are made specifically for you. Most likely from Cone, since his name is innately tied into the items itself. Though why he would stash these specific items here, made specifically for you, how he could have come across like the idea to do so, that is, well, perhaps there's something to his astrology after all. Reading the 5 lonely stars in the sky that apparently have eyes. Other than that, your short rest is relatively uneventful, save for the spiral of magic radiating down into the well, being absorbed by the darkness below. That does paint a strange backdrop to this relatively peaceful moment as you all catch your breath and recover.
Anyone have any ideas about how to purify that well?
No clue.
I think the well was supposed to take us where we need to go.
Hmm.
I think that's what was said. Wasn't it? Am I misremembering?
In some fashion, I believe you're right. I don't think that where we're supposed to go is supposed to have defilers pouring out of it, though. Does not seem
I mean, perhaps
ideal.
we need to be on the other side to purify it.
Sounds very risky.
Yeah. Oh my.
Sure, I want to try that.
Quick question, if I may. Do I know if there are already any spells stored in this ring?
There are not. It appears nobody has used it since it's been made.
Copy that. Okay.
Meanwhile, that vortex just looms behind you. All of your items fit perfectly, even before you attune them. They were definitely made for you.
So, I find it odd that these were specifically tailored to me, considering I've barely met the man before his death.
Well, he was.
I'm just.
He was an astrologer. Like,
they seem to have this strange ability to read the stars and I don't want to say see the future, but predict possible events of the future.
No things, that's for sure.
He definitely did know quite a few things. It was quite astounding, really.
Mm-hmm.
He was quite the turtle. But
He was.
the one that we saw also didn't appear to be
dang it.
the original turtle, or the real turtle, or a part of a whole, maybe? Maybe we'll see some form of him again someday.
I don't know. I mean, he was created. He's a copy of an original. But he said not to trust the original. So in a way, we'll see him again.
Well, he said not to trust his creator.
Right. But I think he was a copy of an original. So like his creator will be him, kind of. I mean,
Certainly seems that way.
in a way, anyhow.
I guess we'll never know for sure. Not until we meet him for ourselves.
Yeah, we may meet
Why?
his creator.
Foreshadowing is the best shadowing, yes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if we ever meet this creator, we can find some answers, though I'm a bit leery. There's a reason Cone dissociated himself from them.
Self? Above table,
Regardless.
I want to tell everyone that I'm very proud of no one having made the snow cone joke.
Snow cone like cone home.
I made it. I
Yeah.
think.
We did.
Oh,
I did.
did you make the snow
Yes.
cone joke? Oh,
Yes, I did.
Sweet.
You can even
Yeah,
go back
2
into
weeks
the recording and
love
hear
it.
it.
in the jail cell, yep.
Was it the snow cone joke, or was it the? Because you posted one in the
Yeah,
group,
that was
being
definitely.
like, I missed this one.
It was definitely a snow cone joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we travel through the well to the other side
I think you're right.
to try to cleanse the corruption from that side.
Maybe we spend a bit more time investigating it on this side first, where we're safe before we decide to jump head first into things.
I'd be happy to study it for a while. But if Cone's words are true, then the well will take us where we need to go. We just might need to examine it and see if there's a way to utilize it, if it's a direct like portal, or if there's a ritual we need to complete.
Oh, no more rituals. The last time you did one, things came out.
True.
That's why I stress
Creepy,
patience and meticulousness.
creepy eyeballs.
All right.
So Tolman's just gonna kind of like walk all the way around and explore it, and then
Whoever has, let's see,
Kind of assist.
who's got the highest passive perception? I'm just, everybody was gonna be able to. Once you approach the well, it's about chest height, right? And you can peer over and see just this almost roiling blackness. There's nothing in there save shadows, and the shadows are moving in strange ways and rhythm to the vortex of magic above. Go in and give me an investigation and an arcana check, Tolman.
you want both? Okay.
Both.
Can I throw a bardic his way before?
You can throw one after.
No.
You can throw one for every roll if you wish.
Oh, okay.
So
All right, one for the money, two for the show.
No.
Which would you prefer first?
The investigation. Then I'll narrate the
Investigation
investigation and
first.
then the arcana. That was
And you
use
said
that
natural
bardic.
3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was the bardic? D6 or D8?
8.
2d8. Keep the highest
That's
one.
right. Is it KH for keep highest?
Yeah, KH1.
So 16.
You move around the well, investigating the rocks, the mortar, everything about this well. It looks strangely textured. The rocks were smooth and aged. However, it's almost as if there's scales on the rocks. And when you move to investigate this strange texture closer, it's not scales and it's not texture. Every single stone of this well is covered in thousands of runes. Each one directing, maintaining, and modifying the well's base enchantment. This is perhaps the most magically complex creation you've ever encountered in your very short life.
It's runes. It's all just runes. What does it all mean though? There's so much, so many.
Can you decipher them?
It
Parts of them? Maybe it flows into a message or of some kind.
It would take an incredible amount of time.
I mean, it's a well, right?
But
Will dig in his pouch and come out with a gold coin.
I mean, yes, it's a well, but it's enchanted. It has there's so many layers to this. Like the well itself is something, but all of these runes are changing, modifying, adding, creating layer upon layer for this enchantment.
He's going to take the coin and move over to the edge of the well.
Are the ruins speaking to you, saying that they're part of this enchantment? I just don't know if this corrupted defiler thing is intentional or not.
I don't know yet. I would need to take some time to study this to understand it.
Real quick before we decide whether or not we're going to roll the Arcana, there are 2 flavors of Arcana check you can choose to roll now that you've succeeded the investigation. You could do a very quick rundown of it. The DC will be pretty high, and you're not going to get as much information as you would if you actually studied it in detail, but studying it in detail is going to take a random number of days that will be rolled by you. But the DC will be lower on that one, and you'll find out more information.
I can't say for certain, but to decipher a good majority of this would take a considerable amount of time, days, possibly weeks. I don't know. Or I can try and do a surface level summary, maybe. Get a rough idea.
Cliff notes, as it were.
I haven't seen any notes on a cliff,
Maybe?
but sure.
Oh, it's a turn of phrase.
I don't want to put you all in danger, but I know time is kind of of urgency.
Maybe what you learn off the surface can direct us if we need to dig deeper or not.
And the rest of you, how do you feel about this?
Oh, about the same as our bard here.
So
You're welcome to study it, but like I said, it's a well, and he'll put the coin on top of his fist and prepare to flick it into the well.
Well, if you're all of the mind that quicker may be the better option, then so be it.
Right, you are. And Will flip the coin into the air and close his eyes and mutter under his breath to himself.
Silverstring, do you mind giving me a little help with this again? There's a lot writing on this.
The double meaning. A lot writing and a lot riding.
While Silverstring is currently muted, I'll just go and say that the coin, you threw it into the well, correct?
Yes, oh yeah.
So the coin just flies through the air, end over end, landing in perfectly center of the gap, which is large enough for like 2 or 3 of you to jump in. And it sinks down into the darkness, but you never hear it ricochet off the walls or land at a bottom. It just disappears into the well. And then you make your silent wish.
Doesn't certainly seem to indicate
Well,
a portal of some sort.
I guess it's not that kind of well.
Yeah, maybe your wish will still come true.
Important question. Would my book be able to help me out with this one?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be advantage on an Arcana check. Well, let's see how this goes.
You also got Bardic too.
And you're doing the quick one? Okay, that's a 31. Please
Oh.
go ahead and make your Bardic.
Woof.
I did something wrong. 1 second. Maybe that's it.
So that's 37?
37.
Ooh.
Well, hold on.
Yes.
It's technically, yeah, it's still 37, okay. This quick summary still takes you like about an hour or two, just glancing over the runes, noticing certain connections here and there. You have some information on the well, managing to blow out the short-term difficulties pretty much out of the water, but not the long-term difficulties. That information is not you're not privy to, even with the amazing roll. This well of Udir, whoever made it had a lot of time on their hands, and they really wanted something, and they really wanted something bad. this well is made to take a person or an object where it absolutely needs to go the most. Regardless of where that thing or place is. Now, the gravity of this may escape you, so I will reiterate. It will take your character where your character needs to go the most, regardless of concepts of space, time, and things like that.
So we could be split up.
You could split up.
Oh my.
From what I gather, we could end up in different places, different countries, different continents, different planes of existence, different dimensions. It's wherever we need to be or go.
Well,
That works, I'm assuming, individually, not as a group.
well, if this is any indication, where we all need to be individually is going to be the exact same as where we need to be as a group.
Maybe.
What if we all hold hands and sing Kumbaya as we jump in?
Without studying it further, I have no way of knowing.
We've been sucked into the astral plane together. Saz, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well, considering what we encountered, that would be the least of our worries.
Yeah.
This could also take us to the hells. It could take us to elemental planes. Who knows? I mean, unless we ourselves write our own destiny, we don't know where we're supposed to be.
Well, don't we write our own destiny? We've already beaten death, supposedly. Well, you certainly have, Tolman.
I had a lot of divine help, and your help.
It may come down to a question of belief. We'll face individual trials, maybe, but do we believe we'll all come back together?
Well, Cone believed this was the right path for us, and as much as I would like to sit and study this,
do we believe in Cone?
he hasn't led us astray so far. He may have put us in a few interesting predicaments, but he hasn't led us astray. Again, I will submit to the will of the group.
Well, cone on then. Let's go.
Haha.
That one was awful. I'm sorry.
Was pretty bad, yeah.
Oh, I don't let go anymore, damn.
They can't all be zingers.
That was a zanger.
Well, all right then.
You're in.
I'm up onto the rim.
You're in, Will. Shall we all go together, just for...
You did mention holding hands and singing a song as we went.
Well, I was being a bit sarcastic, but
Do we have to sing?
I would love to hear your voice, Will, your singing voice.
I don't think you would.
I'm sure you do fine.
Alright.
How many drunken guard nights are spent at the bar, really?
Oddly enough, not as many as you'd think.
Maybe not.
I've never been much of a drinker.
I saw plenty of your coworkers there, though.
Oh, aye. Alright, Tolman. Up you go. Unless you're gonna wait here for us.
No. We started this as a group. Let's do this as a group.
Alright.
When you're ready, let's go.
Grab on and let's jump.
Same time then.
All right.
You all ready?
Right. Ready.
3,
On 3 or after 3?
3, 2, 1.
Do we jump
And
on? What?
one
Oh!
ninja step.
As we fall, will scream out loud. I thought you meant we go 3, 2, 1, go!
And then, all together, though with a little hesitation on Will's end, holding hands, and perhaps even singing a song, the group jumps into the Well of Redeer. Everybody give me just a flat charisma check, and that's the order of which I will handle things.
Ooh dear.
Charisma's the best. Charisma's really in D&D the best measure of willpower. So far it's Will, who has the strongest will. It's going to be Will and Silverstring just because the nat 20 is going to give him an edge on that one. So it's going to be Will, Silverstring,
Fair.
Tolman, and then Saz. You all jump into the well, and you're falling, holding hands. Very quickly, what little light from Radiance enters the top of the well is just gone. That feeling of strange, magical funk very quickly disappearing as you realize the ambient magic is being drawn to power the thousands of glyphs and the sheer amount of magical power required of an artifact of this size and scope. And make no qualms about it, this is an artifact. As you're tumbling through the darkness, Will, you feel almost pleasant, as if you're taking your fate into your own hands. No, don't give me any check yet, but we're gonna do a check in a second. Will, in your mind's eye, as you're tumbling through the darkness, your thoughts wondering where you're going to go, you can feel a pull, a need to change, to be. And your thoughts wander for just a moment to that one night, what seems a lifetime ago. That one night where William Bran was standing guard at the southern gate of Yatar. And in a moment of laziness, you let a wagon through that gate without really doing your due diligence. Do you recall that moment, Will?
You
do.
Vividly.
That one moment in your life set a chain reaction that led you to where you are now. This darkness in this well, this need to be someplace important to you, you can make a change. You feel this, you're watching this, but you can just reach through this little veil of thought and affect that younger, stupider version of yourself. A simple word, a thought racing across your younger self's mind to maybe double check the cart. Maybe then those people wouldn't have been robbed. Maybe then those people wouldn't have died. What do you do?
Could save all those people. Their lives wouldn't have been lost. It wouldn't have been my fault. But if I do that, I might not be here. I might not be here now. I cannot change the past. The past is the past. I won't alter it. He's gonna focus on the goal at hand. He won't change what happened. It's what made him who he is now. So he'll focus on purifying himself and the well, and try to concentrate on that as the place that he needs to go.
So as you see that moment of most import in your recent history, it seems as if the well has decided this is where you need to be, but you perhaps have the willpower to row against fate. Make a charisma saving throw, please. Remember, you all have inspiration from the recap.
Right.
Would you like to use your inspiration?
Yes. Yes, I will. Alright, so... Oh my gosh! What's having a plus 11 do for you?
That's such a big bonus as well.
So, just flooding through Will's vision and through his mind is just a cascade of images. And it's all of the faces of all of the people who were killed as he wound up at the house later with all the bodies, and seeing all of their faces and all of the images of them just constantly flashing through his mind. He's unable to get those out of his head.
All that possibility. Will, as these images are floating through your head of all of these consequences to your younger self's actions, you open your eyes and you find yourself wearing a chain shirt, a simple spear, and a simple shield, dressed in the tunic of the Atari guard of the Southern Phoenix Gate. In front of you is a cart and a group of very businesslike gentlemen that you know are thugs and murderers and robbers, out to steal something of great import to House Grey. You're now in your younger self's shoes, and the merchantman, dressed in fine regalia of blue and gold. Hey, did you hear me, God? Open the gate! We have business to attend to in the city.
Aye, that you might. But you'll not be coming through the gate until after we've searched the cart. And searched it thoroughly. We've our jobs to do.
What do you mean? Just a moment ago, you said you'd open the gate. Why the change of heart?
I don't know. I don't think I like the look of either of you. Why don't the two of you step down? Step down from the cart, and my companions and I will search it.
One of your companions,
He'll take out his whistle.
A guardsman Chui, who was promoted to sergeant shortly after this, blue-feathered, kind of looks at you. What's going on, Will? Just a merchant.
It is. I don't... Something about them. I think it's off. I don't like the look of them. It won't take long. We'll search the cart.
Don't like the look of them. Looks over at the merchantmen. They're just two vaguely humanoid gentlemen. Though one has feathers for hair and the other one has long, like, spidery fingers. Look, you don't really need to check the cart. Just be on the way. I promise, man. Look, you want to look at my wares? And he grabs the tarp and kind of rolls it over, and you can see just baskets full of strange and exotic fruits. Look, those are my rare wares. There's nothing here, I promise. Can't you just do me a favor? I need to get to market.
Yep. Right. Won't take long. Just stand there away from the cart with your friend. We'll make it quick.
The two merchantmen
Let's be about it.
look at each other strangely. All right, just be quick about it. Do you inspect?
And he'll yes, he will thoroughly inspect the cart and all of its contents.
Give me an investigation check.
Not great. Can I roll with advantage because I have my companion helping me?
Yes.
12.
Don't worry, these are first
I
level
rolled a
DCs.
12.
You move many of the baskets around. Most of them are strange and exotic fruit, like brindle fruit, some fire pepper. But as you begin moving more and more of these around, there are oddities to the weight. Some of them are far heavier than others. Do you wish to investigate farther?
He'll take one of the ones that's heavier than it should be. Well, let's hope I'm not wrong, and tip it over to see what else is inside.
You tip this basket full of fruit, and the fruit falls out, as does several cloaks wrapped around sets of thieves' tools, curved daggers, even a strange amulet or two. As this incriminating thieves' kit sits on the ground, the two merchantmen make a grab for their weapons and lunge at you. The wealthier-looking one lunging at you, Will, and the assistant lunging at Twee. Yeah, you should have just let us go! And a dagger flies towards you. Can you please make a strength check? We're kind of doing these like skill checks.
Just strength?
Yeah.
Oh, the dice are hating me.
They are hating.
7.
Yeah, and you've already used your advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to give you theirs. 7 is how it goes.
Yeah, I'll throw mine your way.
Are you sure it's a string?
You might need it. You might need it for yours.
That's true.
Take mine instead.
No, I won't. I won't take either.
You can have mine.
Everybody's like, take it.
All right.
You're taking someone's.
Who are you taking?
Yeah, whose are you taking?
Silver string. I'll take it from you. You offered first.
Okay.
Oh, this pleases
I hope it
my
doesn't bite
DM
you.
heart. This pleases my DM heart so bad, so much. Silver string, you no longer have inspiration. You gave it away. This merchantman lunges at you, and you could almost see the chain of events, like the dagger going into your gut, just shattering the rings that are meant to protect you. You see yourself dying along with Twee in the street. But you have all those strange memories of companions you've not yet met. Of Silverstring, of Sazota and Tolman. Even the strange people you met in passing, like Nivli and Vivek. And there's a strength that courses an unfamiliar strength. The strength of an older, more seasoned, certainly more powerful and more divinely inspired will. And you grab that person and just fling them to the ground with a strength and speed you do not even know you had. The merchantman groans almost completely knocked out by the violence of your actions. Twee is also fighting off his assaulter. And after a few moments, you're able to help your companion overcome his trial as well. But you stand over the two subdued merchantmen, just as several more guards become pouring through the gate. What's going on here? One of the guards shouts, looking at the merchantmen and the thieves guild. Did you find something, Twee and Will?
Aye. Assassins. Cultists and assassins. Look here. And he'll hold up one of the amulets and one of the daggers. Poisoned if my money is any good. I'd wager it anyway.
And you'd wager correctly.
They tried to kill us.
In the torchlight, you can see the off color of the dagger's blade. They tried to kill you. The guards immediately descend onto the wagon and begin tearing it, taking the baskets, investing the goods.
They meant to slip through into the town. They were up to no good.
Aye. Well, thanks to your diligence, Guardsman Will, there might be a future for you yet here. Alright, we'll investigate them. Take your word for it. You're in Tweez. Good job.
Oh.
Good job, Will. Good job.
Seeing a chance to try to roll with fate, Will step back a bit and put his hand on Twee's back and push Twee forward. Honestly, it was Twee here who spotted the whole thing. I just was helping him. He was the one that ferreted it all out. Twee here deserves all the credit.
Twee looks at you like, what are you doing?
Keep your beak shut. There might be a promotion in this for you.
Alright, whatever, but you're gonna have to...
Isn't that right, Twee?
Yeah, that's right. Kind of nervously looking around. Yeah, there was clearly something about the way that they held themselves that was strange. Yeah.
Right. He's a sharp eye. Like a hawk's eye. He'll wink at him.
The humanoid cuckoo bird looks at you indignant. A hawk! Then he kind of starts to look proud. Yeah! A hawk! I like that.
Hey. Well, let me help you out there. What would you like us to do, Twee?
Well, let's finish our shift here. They're gonna take him away, and then I owe you a drink. Several drinks.
Right, yeah. Well done.
Well done. And with that, your world goes black for a moment. Silverstring.
Ahoy, hoy.
Just one last thing. In Will's moment of weakness, when he thought his life was about to come to its end, the most unlikely of all faces flashed through his mind, and the only thing that he could think of was Silverstring and his sort of sarcastic, smarmy smirk on his face. And it was a positive sort of reinforcement for Will. Yeah, for once, yeah. And all the history that they've built up so far.
Silverstring. As you fall through the darkness of the Well of Rudir. Thoughts and memories long since buried, traumas, often revisited in your worst nightmares, flash before your waking mind's eye. In a natural place, beneath the deepest parts of your tar, accessible only by your manor, is a torch and candle lit room.
Yes.
I use the word room, a little loosely, because so ancient it is. It looks more like a deteriorating cave. And in the center, dominating this room, is a deep red pool of slowly churning blood.
So we're here again.
Spanning this pool of blood is a single dark bridge, at the center of which is an altar, a plinth, where a 9-year-old Silverstring stands before a crying child set upon the plinth, a father's reassuring hand placed on your shoulder. It's okay, Raymond. Is it Reynold? Is it Reynold?
Renard.
Renard. Okay, I'm sorry, I screwed up your name. You don't use it very often.
No, I don't.
It's okay, Reynard. This will only take a moment. Just do as we taught you. A heavy crisp blade sits in your hands. Tiny hands. That dagger, so small in your adult mind, as large as a short sword in your childlike hands. Maria cries on the plinth before you, naked, afraid. She won't feel a thing, child. Just do as we taught you. But your memories are there. You know what happens next. You know what you did. You know what you can change.
So this is where I'm meant to be. Mm-hmm. I know what to do. My family has taught me well. I'll raise the Chris blade.
Good, son. Good.
Motioning as if to perform the ritual. I'll try to make a maneuver as I plunge it down and actually try to turn around and stab my father.
Give me a deception check, please, with advantage.
Yeah.
Silverstring not even trying to fight the influence of the well. Instead, where once you had plunged the dagger into your childlike daughter, or daughter, my bad, into your child sister, instead turns it and it goes careening into the stomach of Byron, your father, who, now that you're looking at him, really looking at him, the shadows of past deeds, of the things he did to you are gone. It is just, it's almost as if looking in a mirror. Younger Byron looks almost exactly like older Silverstring, save the burn marks of recent events. Shock plays heavily on his face as the crisp knife is buried heat hilt deep into his guts, blood pouring forth, mixing with the now boiling blood of the pool. Why did you do this? He rasps, taking a step back.
You wouldn't understand, Father. You don't care for people.
And with a look of shock and horror on his face, Byron Akium trips over the edge of the small bridge and falls into the bloody pool below. And in the
I'll
last...
try to...
Oh,
sorry.
And before darkness takes you, I'll certainly give you a chance to do whatever you're going to do, but after that splash, you hear only the crying of Maria and the distant, heavier sobs of your mother, who is hazy in your thoughts. Now, what do you do before the darkness of the well takes you?
I'll turn back quickly and try to start releasing Maria.
You turn back to the child, undoing the loose bonds that keep her in place. Do you grab her and flee the manor?
We need to escape. We need to find safety. I don't know what happens next.
And so you scoop up your
deserve to
sister,
live.
reassuring the child as much as you can before fleeing from your manor and into the night as the darkness of the well takes you. Alright. Let's see, who's next?
Can I do one last thing?
Absolutely, go for it.
So the darkness, I'm back falling. I will take out the sending stone and whisper, "Fuck you."
Yes.
Amazing.
Beautiful send off.
Oh, from the depths of hell, I smite ye. Oh, love it.
Tolmond, I believe, is next. Am I correct on that? Yeah, Tolmond
That
got
would
a
be
14.
correct.
Purest of spite.
Where's a good place for Tolmond to be?
If you're in my head, don't do what I think you're gonna do.
That's a good one, because I'm trying to think, and I'm failing as a DM. I'm like, what do I do with Tolman?
Would you like some help?
Sure, give me some help.
I know about the situation that caused my family to fall.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That could certainly work. Tolmond, when you fall through the darkness of the well, you also see flashes of memory. Now that you know the fate of your father and the resulting drama around current events, your house being disenfranchised and removed from peerage, no longer nobility, and exiled from Yatari lands, you notice in your memories signs, little telltales. Your father, always elegant, very much graceful as most elves are, under stress, suddenly angry when no anger makes sense. These your past self had ascribed to just stress at work, or maybe your father was having a bad day. But now you know it might be something else entirely. And so you find yourself younger, still an early teenager, not yet in the, well, to the human side, the adult age of 20, but to the elf side, much, much, so far removed from adulthood, it's practically silly. You are reading a book as your father lectures you on how important your upcoming librarian position is for the family. You see, Tormund, it would be great for you to take a position in the library. It's a very prestigious thing here in Yatar. I don't know why you wish to run around with your hoodlum friends. You need a foundation, my son.
Is that something I cannot get here? Why is it so important for me to be out and to leave?
It is time for you to educate yourself in ways I cannot. I was a wistful and wandering lad, and I want you to have the foundation that I could not. This librarian job will give you, one, an apprenticeship and a future, as well as access to knowledge and spell work that may perhaps lead you into a magister position someday. But if you stay here with your mother all day, I've seen the friends you've been running around with. It's good to have friends, but I've had to pay for everything you've stolen for the last several months. And while our finances are not limited, they are certainly not limitless, my son.
I understand, and I do apologize, Father. But regardless of your past, why are you so concerned for me and mine when look what you have achieved? You run the military aspect for House Gray. You are a man of honor. You've always conducted yourself as such. You've always been a shining example of what to do and who to be. I realize that I can be a bit of a problem at times. I'm not as disciplined as your oldest son, but I do enjoy my books. I do enjoy the library.
I just do not want you following in the wrong crowd. Following the wrong paths. He cringes a little bit as you say your piece, by the way, as if your words are striking something that's just under the surface, something he's trying to hide. But he cringes all the same. I am not the most honorable man. I had a rather exuberant youth. And while we are in the peerage, we are in lesser nobility. This is a lesser thing compared to the nobility of Leovair, compared to your birthright, where I am an exile. You could be more than any of us, Torment. You just need to apply yourself. And perhaps the wisdom of youth should not be discarded by one as old as I. You say I'm an honorable man. You will find out one day that all honorable men, well, most honorable men, Well, honor is the shiny facade that hides the scars. I pray you never have to learn that lesson. He stands up and straightens his robes. I will give you, if you wish, another year to think about your future. And if you can come to me with a plan, then you do not have to take the job I give you. You have 1 year. A lot of time for the shorter-lived peoples. Don't you think?
Hard to say. I am only but 20. Whereas you were...
You're 14 in this flashback.
How old are you now, Father? Oh, sorry. I'm only but 14. You are what? 500? 503?
He looks at you, a strange look, like almost like a cringe. Listen, my son, I may be 513, but I don't look a day over 200.
Well, your blood is also stronger than mine.
Don't worry, Dolmond. We all make do with the time we were
I'd be
given.
happy to be half the man that you are.
No. You're my son, Dolmond of House Cross. You will be greater than I am in time. I am sure of it. Now get back to your studies. I need to go have a conversation with your mother.
Is this about Lady Grey?
As he's walking away, you say your piece, and he stops and turns around. Yes, this is exactly about Lady Grey. What do you know?
I heard a good part of the conversation. I may not be full elf, but my eyes and my ears work quite well.
Your father's own elf ears twitch in annoyance. Well, it seems like you're more cunning than even I gave you credit to be, my son. Yes, Lady Grey has put me in a bad position. While I intended to keep the secret, your words, your talk of honor has reminded me that I have some, hidden deep below somewhere. And then perhaps it's time to take it out and buff it to pieces, don't you think?
Well, Father, one of your best lessons, though quite an annoying one, was that of character. The choices we make, whether those are looking or not. And it's the only time that I have ever heard your honor ever come into question.
He gives you a long and complicated and loving look as you speak. Please continue.
With someone as long of a history as yours to have such a, how would you phrase it, clean record, I'm not disappointed or upset. I just don't understand the lessons and then your choices.
No matter how old we are, we very seldom understand ourselves. I am guilty of this. But you speak wisdom beyond your years, my son. I think you will be the best of us all.
Can I ask one last question before you go?
Of course. I will always be here to answer your questions.
Was it fear or pride?
It was a little of both, but it was mostly fear. I do not have a lot of years with your mother. I fear to lose what little I have. Thank you for this talk, son.
Of course. And thank you for your insight. And if only we can both be the men that you ask us to be. Good luck, Father.
You too, my son. I pray that one day I am the father demanded of you. We will speak again of this library business in a year. Good night. Well,
Good night.
with that he turns and leaves the room. And you find yourself once more in the darkness of the well. Sazota.
Oh no, it's my turn. Oh no.
So your backstory is
No
very,
nota.
very new to me. Like an hour before the session today, new to me. Though we
Yeah,
did,
I told you I put the pro in procrastinate.
so we're gonna play this fast and loose. Do we want the time your dad left to do the thing, or do we want the time bad things happen to your mom?
Oh my god. Shit. Um GM's poison, I guess?
I will leave it to the dice. Alright, what is the name of your town? It's Sumo or Zumo? Zuma?
Let me Zuma, yeah.
Zuma.
I should put a pronunciation guide for that there. Yeah.
Look, you didn't give me a pronunciation guide for pause, or big pause, so I thought about purposely mispronouncing it. It's big pause. Alright.
Amazing.
In the city of Zuma, a young Sazota sits on a large, leafy rock, throwing stones into a rather placid bay. The chittering of nearby monkeys and the sounds of cicadas, the backdrop of this beautiful scene, as the sun makes the bay look like sparkling sapphire. This is the last day you ever see your father, and you can hear his footsteps approaching. You remember that this is when he says goodbye, and that he has something important to do. But he never told you what. That you found from other sources. Much later. Your father, a big, burly Yuan-Ti gentleman, wore his head cleanly shaven because the pattern of the scales on his scalp were quite mesmerizing to your mother, and he decided to play into that. And so this green and red...
Of course he did.
This green, scaled gentleman with bright red scales running from his brow all the way down his back, wearing a light leather armor and a spear and shield slung over his back, approaches you. Little Sazota, Are you playing with rocks again?
Oh gosh. All right, one moment to compose myself here.
Now,
After kind of, or go ahead.
I was gonna say real quick. Your base memory of this is that he comes to you and he tells you that he loves you and he's got something important to do, to take care of your mother, and that he'll be back in a few weeks. That's your base memory. Because everybody else, like, we've all kind of like gone into the backstories a few times, but this is your first and it's still kind of new. So that's your base memory. So any changes to that would be changes.
Then after kind of getting this weird sense of deja vu, he'll look at the little stone in his hand and he'll say, I was told to wait here for you, Papa.
He smiles, a feigned, accented smile. That's comforting, but definitely wouldn't be comforting to a non-Yuan-Ti. And he crouches down next to your favorite rock and picks up a smooth stone from the very rocky beach that you're on. You're always listen very well, little child. You listen better than everyone. I'm going on an adventure, my son. Something important I must do.
Take me with you. I want to go on an adventure too, Papa.
When you're older, Sazota, you'll have all the adventures you can handle. But now I need someone to take care of your mother. And who better than the adventurer in training, Sazota? He chuckles at that. Your mother could
Sazota
ask...
pouts. He would like to go.
As you're pouting. Your mother could ask for no finer a guard than you.
But Mama has you. And you're the best guard in the city, in the village, in the country.
Give me a perception check.
Alrighty then. 22.
He smiles, a almost mournful smile. Yes, I am one of the best gods in this Zuma, this lovely little village we call home. But we have to do dangerous things to protect our places of love. This is not the adventure that'll sing songs about Sazota. This is the other kind. And as he lifts his right hand to your cheek to comfort you, he pauses and he takes his glove off. Man always wore gloves. And he takes it and he pats you on the cheek reassuringly, and that's not something he did in your base memory. But you can see a rather stylized draconic eye on his right palm. I have something important.
Papa, what is that?
This? This is an old mark. I got it as a child. He looks down at it. Make an insight check. You're getting all the flashback checks. Everybody got this shit for free, but you get insights. Oh wow, consistent. Okay.
Okay. Well, they're both +7, so that's great.
Yeah. when he looks and talks about this mark, child like you would think nothing of it, but you're older Sazota in child Sazota's body, essentially, at least in this scenario. And you can see the guilt and the unhappiness he has towards this symbol on his palm. He doesn't like that he has it. And in that moment, you can tell that he mostly wears gloves to hide it. He doesn't wish to see it, probably doesn't wish others to see it as well.
It makes you sad, Papa. Why? Why does it make you sad?
Little Sazota. As we grow, we all make mistakes. Some more than others. And I have made so many mistakes. But you and your mother are not one. That's why I need you to stay here. You and your mother are the best things in my life. And I need to make sure that they are protected.
I understand, Papa. I understand.
He removes his hand from your cheek and puts his glove back on. I don't know exactly when I'll be back, but it will be weeks, maybe longer. Take care of your mother, Sazota, and know that I love you.
I'm going to hug his leg. Adult Sazota is trying to act like child Sazota, and child Sazota would have hugged his father's leg and begged him not to go. So he will say, "Please don't go, Papa, just this once."
And as the gears turn in your brain, you do realize that adult Sazota knows that the symbol...
He is going to go anyway.
Yeah, the symbol on the right hand that he tries to hide that he's ashamed of is one of the bewitching symbols of Dragonsar. Your father has been marked by them.
Oh. Does adult Sazota know what that means?
That would be up to adult Sazota.
Would that be Arcana or History?
History check. Arcana would... Well, yep. The dice said...
I'm going to use my inspiration for that.
Okay. Because so far the dice went no.
How do I use my inspiration for that?
If you mouse... Yeah, you could just mouse over.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
It got 18 instead. There we go. I'll just tick that off so it's not there.
So you know that the people of Dragonsar, because of Scarlet, the Empress's power, and several of the artifacts that she employs to maintain her power, that old Scarlet Dragon can make, like, if you swear loyalty to her, which is usually done as like a childhood rite, the coming of age thing, it marks your hand. And there are certain arcane things that this mark does, but it would tell you historically that your father had at one point made the mistake, he says, of swearing loyalty to Dragonsar.
Oh. Oh, that's big for him actually. But knowing that, he would squeeze his leg tighter as if he's trying to actually actively stop him from going.
I don't want to go, Sasota. I would like nothing more than to stay here with your mother and you. But we all have responsibilities. And I have to protect our village, one way or the other. It is time I faced my past, my child. Know that I love you, and I'll be back soon.
But if you go, you could die.
Ah, Sasota, we all could die. I could slip on this rocky beach and hit my head. Never live your life as if you're afraid of death, Sasota. You'll never be an adventurer if you do that.
Reluctantly, he lets go. I understand.
Good.
Goodbye, Papa.
Goodbye, Sasota. I'll see you again. I promise. And with that, he begins to walk away, though he does turn back and look at you several times before disappearing into the jungles and into your memory. And you once more are drawn back into the darkness of the well. So, Tolmond and Silverstring, can I get charisma saving throws, please? Tolmond, you fail. Silverstring, you succeed.
Oh, look at you. I fail. Shit.
Did I have William make a charisma saving throw? William, if I didn't, I can't find it. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw, please. Wait, yeah. Alright, so, it's charisma.
Oh, there you go.
So that's 27. Yours, Silverstring's, like, what's your charisma bonus, Will?
Oh, plus 11. Bonus.
Yeah.
Plus 4.
Okay, so Silverstring got a 32 and Tolman got a 19.
Oh, your aura might have saved me.
Oh, if you're including the aura, okay.
This is one of those lovely little problems. 3 of you have changed the past in such a significant manner that that your current characters would be irrevocably changed by it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you passed.
You said, "Here's the problem."
Yeah, here's the problem.
Shit.
This would normally be this could be construed as a moment to where we could close the story out of those characters. At least one of them. Like Silverstring's entire motivation for existing is gone now, or at least been replaced. William William would never have been sent to Briarwood because William was sent to Briarwood as punishment for fucking up the gate job. So while Twee would still get promoted, Will would no longer be punished, and neither would Twee's entire platoon be punished because they never let the people in to do the thing that they got punished for. This is one of those lovely things of screwing with space and time and weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
Tolman's change isn't as drastic, and Sazota's was very minimal. Like, Sazota got the memo, Sazota, did the job. Changed the past as little as possible. That being said, I don't think Silverstring...
Sazota doesn't want to change that memory too much, to be fair.
To be fair, Silverstring, I don't think, would have wanted to go through the event again, the way it originally happened. So this is one of those lovely moments. Tolmond could go through that and not really be changed, because Tolmond changed more his father's actions more so than his own. Like, Tolmond could still go to the library and still do all that. So mostly we're going to focus on Silverstring and Will. So Silverstring.
Mm-hmm.
Before you come back into the darkness and whisper "fuck you" into the Sending Stone, how do you think your history has changed from, instead of killing your younger sister, you've now killed your father?
Yeah. In a weird way of knowing what happens and then changing.
Mm-hmm. Because now not only do you kill your father and you're running from your responsibility still, but now you have little Maria to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
9-year-old's a rough age to become an adult, to become like a caregiver.
Yeah, what does that mean? I was honestly thinking that Byron would survive somehow.
He could.
But I don't know.
He could.
And I don't even know, did I get away with Maria? Did we actually manage to escape, or were we stopped? Or, there are a lot of things that could change now. Or,
yeah. So the real question I ask you as the player, are we interested in exploring the possibilities of those changes? Or are we more interested in you essentially still ending up where you are with not much changed, but the current, the chain of events that lead up to that are just different?
I still want to be a part of the group, but yeah, things could definitely change for Silverstring. It's weird now because he'll have a memory of having a memory, right?
Yeah, that
he'll
is
have a
weird.
memory of killing his father, that he knows why he killed his father, because he's lived both.
Yeah, did his mother just take his father's
Timelines.
place? I don't know.
Or did he become the patriarch?
Oh golly.
Well, there's certain weirdness with the mother I can't get into yet, but the mother would not take Byron's place. It would be easier if Byron just wasn't killed, because he was only stabbed in the gut. Like, that's not a kill wound specifically, especially when D&D magic gets involved. And your father was a very powerful person, both politically and personally.
Right. I'm sure he has medical staff.
Yeah.
So it caught him by surprise. That's why he fell.
And then you escape.
Yeah, because he fell into the blood pool.
Yeah, and then you escape with Maria. To maintain
maybe that changes the relationship or something.
Oh, that would probably certainly change the relationship, because Byron's. Well, we've all seen
100%.
Yeah, we've all seen Byron's version of their relationship via note taking.
Right.
I think you would still lose Maria. I think Byron would come for you. Probably use Maria to punish you. So instead of...
Quick question.
Go on.
Has anybody seen Ragnarok on Netflix?
I have not. I've heard of it.
I don't think so.
Depends on what you mean by Ragnarok. Do you mean Thor Ragnarok?
Animated
Documentary?
war between gods and humans.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
No.
Oh.
Then again, I also haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, so...
It's an anime, right?
It is. I don't know if it's relevant at all, but as a quick idea suggestion...
Wait, Ragnarok Online?
No.
Why did I think of that? You said anime. That's not an anime.
So, quick little sum up. basically, the gods have decided to destroy all humans. The Buddhist god, or I'm sorry, Buddha has given some information to the Valkyries. The Valkyries are able to willingly become bonded supplements to the chosen human warriors to amplify their powers to fight the gods. Instead of Maria becoming an unwilling sacrifice, there's the possibility she becomes a willing sacrifice to fight the dark forces of your father and his cult, thus amplifying your powers.
That's up to Silverstring. Either way, your Silverstring's coming out of this change significantly.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if such a situation were to happen, if Maria wanted to sacrifice herself, Silverstring probably would not want to at all. He doesn't care about power to, in running, he didn't care about power to fight back. He's kind of grasping at that now, but it's been his entire life's journey to this point where he's finally fighting back. So what was that point? Would that point have changed? With Byron surviving and now maybe harassing Silverstring a lot more
aggressive about it for sure
throughout life. Yeah, maybe. Even though
he's now actively sending like assassins after you and shit. He's just like actively sending thugs after you now. Like,
it's not just Radium. Even then, I don't think he would have accepted an offer for his sister to sacrifice herself to increase his power. That's just not what would happen.
So how about Byron survives, comes after you. Like, you were very young, right? So like, there's only so much you could do.
I probably didn't get far. Let's be honest. Yeah.
We'll say you got farther than you thought you would. Like, Byron let you go while he healed and only came after you when he was like his full self again. But that was probably worse because then you had the thought that you got away, only to have it all ripped out from underneath you. And then
so I faced that reality a lot sooner than I did here. Yeah. Okay.
And then Byron takes Maria. You try to save Maria. The bad thing still happens to Maria, but not by your hand this time, but by Byron. So you have a little bit less guilt in that regard. And while you were able to escape that, Byron is now coming after you a lot more aggressively. Like, almost as if,
maybe a little less guilt. Yeah, okay. Little less guilt, a lot more like, why bother? Oh my god, it's hopeless, you know? It all happened anyways. I've lived 2 lives to just have the same thing occur.
So now you have like both processes of like both memories of your initial and of both failures. Oh no.
Okay, cool. I like it. Let's run with that.
All right. And William Brand. How did William end up getting to Brindlewood for that one moment when he was sent to round up the certain 4 individuals and got tied up into a cult in a plot involving a godling and corruption and whatnot?
I would think there's he's of two minds. He desperately wants to get back to his friends and his companions and see through what he's done, but there's a complete other side of him that wants to just be Will and just get on with a normal, guilt-free, worry-free life. He's been stressed about, being hunted and wanted for murder, and his life just being so upheaved. I think he would be so pulled in two different directions that I could see almost Will being torn asunder into two different people, like having something like ripped out of him emotionally. One person who goes on, and then some piece of Will that continues, but not the same.
Like you fix your great mistake, but it's led to other turmoil.
Right.
But you would still seek out these companions, and you would still go on your adventure, correct?
If he still remembered what happened, yeah, he would intentionally just show up at the inn that day without being sent there. Like you said, if he remembered what was going to happen, he would still show up there anyway.
Like you request a transfer.
Yeah, and potentially just lie when he shows up there that day for why he was there. You would just tell Cohen.
You even take a little bit of joy of like rearresting Silverstring for like not paying his tab or something. Like it's bullshit now, but you're just like you treat him a little extra rough, like he could take it.
Yep, being more of a dick than I had to be. When we go to the guardhouse that day, taking all of his belongings and stowing them in a bag, and then taking the bag and hiding it under the counter in like a corner where no one else would find it, so that it would be there later when they came back.
Police passive aggression.
Reliving all the moments, like when the guy helped them escape from the city, and then later knowing that he'd be murdered, like brutally murdered, but also knowing that he couldn't do anything about it, that he had to just let it happen. Just tortured by all those decisions, all those people that died, that he just let them die.
So you became like even more guilty in a sense, because then you have the that turmoil of like, I gotta let you die or it's gonna change too much.
Right. Otherwise, there's no way that I'll get back to here, where I am now.
And so it was that, while many of you are irrevocably changed by this experience, you all still manage to find your way back to the inevitability that is the will of Udir. You've changed your pasts. Some of you have gained new insights into there. Well, certainly all of you have gained new insights into your past. But some of you have chosen to change things. The well took you to the worst parts of your life and gave you the opportunity to make it better. Whether or not you succeeded is completely up to you. But when you wake up, you hear the gentle whispering of "fuck you" into a sending stone, a familiar voice of Silverstring. Still burned, still mutilated by his encounter with the crab and setting himself on fire. But now bearing other scars as well. The memory of living on the streets for longer, the memory of thugs actively chasing you, now mixing in and bleeding into the memories you had before. You know that your father has Maria, but never has it been implied in this new reality you find yourself in that Maria has been made into an object, like she was previously. Now she is a hostage, and however you feel about that, be it a desire to save your younger sister or whatnot, is completely up to you. But that is certainly one of the most important takeaways from this experience. For darkness and shadow touches everything. There is no light without shadow. And the Well of Udir, likewise, touches everything and everywhere. And as you open your eyes, you find yourself not next to the well, not in the roiling shadows that took you to your darkest moments, but you instead find yourself on a warm, radiant, sunny beach, covered in sand. And that's where we're going to take a little break, so we can all get a drink and dwell upon what we just did.
It was so good. That was all so awesome.
That was great. That was wonderful. Bravo, everybody.
Good
Yeah.
lord, I was not prepared for this tonight.
Yeah. Oof. Oh,
Neither.
I wasn't ready for any of that.
See, I could run D&D sick.
And then I had time to prepare.
I could run D&D sick.
That's
I did not
because
think
you're
I
the
could pull
shit,
this
sir.
off. I did not think I could pull this off sick. So that's why we had missed last week, because I knew this was going to happen.
Are you still ill?
No,
Or
I'm
are
feeling a lot
are
better.
you feeling
but
better, man?
I can like I said, normally I could run
Okay,
sick.
good.
It's fine, but I don't think I had the mental clarity to pull this off.
Yeah, no. You did a great
Fair
job
enough.
today, though. Came in
Yeah.
at your best, and now I'm sad. So,
Also, I'm
No
glad I put it off
time.
because now I have a backstory
Holy.
for Sazota to work with. I did not last week.
I'm
Very
sorry,
true,
I
very true.
procrastinated, especially when I realized I had an extra week. And
It's
then
fine.
today I put on Tangled and finished it, and then I was like, wait, I forgot the name of the town, and then I had to ask.
All right, I'm gonna grab a drink and then we'll be back. I'll see you guys in 7 minutes, something like that.
Sure.
Sounds great.
sounds good.
Side note, this is some emotional bullshit.
What is
The last
this
hour.
all this stuff? Yeah.
I was not prepared for this. This is not okay. But man, for not having well, I don't know how in depth your backstory was that you presented to him, but to pull off a situation like that so well, he's got skills.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
back.
much
What I
so.
miss?
I was giving our DM some props for being able to put together a situation like this with a semi-minimal information. Because I don't know how in-depth your backstory was, but I kind of created this situation for mine, and damn, he still pulled it off super well.
Mine isn't uber detailed, but it's long and has important details in it. And I only gave it to him an hour before game start, so props to him for that. That was great.
Yeah, mine was a little bit shorter, but it had very impactful key moments. But he turned that into a super awesome situation.
Yeah.
But now, Will, you really understand why I was surprised when he originally said that House Grey were owl people.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not what I expected after the information that was presented.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna change things.
I can't wait to see how y'all's stuff changes and how it impacts the shit around us.
Well, maybe now Will won't be so bitter.
I'm just a bit more sad now.
Silver String's gonna be more bitter.
Oh no.
Yeah, I feel like that would happen to you at this point, because now you'd have a similar situation happening earlier.
2 lives of failure. Yeah.
I don't think bitter. I think like cold, almost ruthless now.
Or exhausted for becoming essentially a guardian at age 10.
Oh no, I was talking about where Will goes now.
Oh, that's true for you, absolutely.
Cold and ruthless.
Because he's intentionally let people die. He's let
Come
that
back to this. Why?
he let that little kid walk away and get his skull smashed in. He let Cone get destroyed.
But why?
Let Nivli die. Let everything that's happened happen. Even though at any moment he could have changed any of it. All to get back to this moment. To see through what it is that they're doing.
Huh.
So that's absolutely one
That-
option. The
definitely
other option is
Paladin-esque,
you would be
man.
relieved of your previous guilt.
Can you
That makes me
imagine that? Super Paladin there, just going like on divine purpose, basically, that you're back here. And
I was
you're
going to
going
say, so
through
we're
all
now
again.
100% either like Oath of Vengeance or Oath of Conquest. Fuck this, fuck you, fuck that, fuck everybody.
Yeah, nothing matters but the job, but the mission, but the goal.
You know, I'm
Things
thinking
have been-
about it.
Go ahead.
Not exactly sure what I could have changed in that scenario.
Who knows? Pull at the heartstrings a little harder and say, Dad, you can't go without me? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, probably. Maybe self inflicted injury, but
But I mean, at the same time, we probably weren't supposed to fuck with the past.
no, and I think my wisdom stat, like, pretty much at least validates not wanting to change things too much. So instead of trying to change the past, I just bought an extra 10 minutes with my dad. And got some interesting information that I'm going to have to put away for later. Meanwhile, y'all are like suffering, and I'm sorry.
In some sense, that's been the entire game.
Yeah, that's fair. I
That's
imagine
kinda
that's
true.
going to be the entire game going forward.
Yeah.
Can I request the
Welcome
floor
to
for 2 minutes?
Kinda true.
'Cause I feel like ranting
Go
for
for
2
it.
minutes. I want to rant for 2 minutes. So this is a Ghibli Souls game, which is bright and cheery, but when I say Souls, it's not necessarily tied specifically to the difficulty of the combat, so that is a really big part of it. Have anybody? I've only played a couple Souls games, mostly Elden Ring and a little bit of Dark Souls 2. But is anybody else like familiar with Soulsborne and their method of storytelling?
So
Yeah.
I played the original Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 3.
Okay.
I have played Dark Souls 1, 2, and Elden Ring.
So
I have played none of them.
I want you to hold up one of your hands and I want you to count how many happy endings are in Dark Souls for any of the NPCs or the main character.
Oh shit.
There aren't that many.
There's not a lot, and even the happy endings usually have undercurrents of like darkness to them. So like
they're more bittersweet.
Yeah, pretty much. Like now, I'm not trying to make this all doom and gloom, but suffering is kind of the name of the game a little bit in like Dark Souls, and I'm trying to pull that through without overdoing it.
No, I'm loving it.
We have to really earn a happy ending if we want it.
For sure. And I mean, Silverstring, who's like never played a Souls game, probably has the most like Souls-esque story so far. In that, just they tried to do well, but every time they try to do well, something bad happens, like sending the frog to its death.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna fix the path, and then
ribbit.
Yeah, it's just like because casually.
Will you let him die all over again?
Oh yeah, does Silverstring know?
I
would think
not, unless you gave
unless
hints
he
along
tells
the way.
him, yeah.
I mean, someone with higher insight might have been able to pick up on it.
Yeah, but
maybe. What is my insight even?
Yeah, I've never seen any of the Dark Souls games either, but I definitely get that vibe.
But Will, I'm gonna give you an option, Will. Given that you're changing, like you changed the one major thing, but after that you're kind of going with the flow, just trying to get back on that same story. Do you think Will would have done anything different in, like the crab battle to try to avoid getting corrupted by the blue, or no?
Oh, definitely. Well, but would he though?
Ooh.
Like, would he take the chance of not getting corrupted and then not being able to destroy the blue completely?
Destroy the blue by becoming the blue?
Because right now he's been able. Yeah, right now he's been able to sacrifice becoming corrupted for the chance to actually destroy the blue. Oh, Jesus. But would he risk it? Would he risk the blue not being destroyed?
That's a question for you to drill on. I don't need an answer right now. You have plenty. Just by next week, like preferably. And then Tolmond, with your new memories, little Colin Gray doesn't exist. Colin Gray was never born, which is a shame because I had a token for him and everything. But instead, you know for a fact that your father and mother are still in. They were still in Brindlewood. So you could you know that they're relatively safe. And remember when you summoned the shields to prevent that building from collapsing?
Mm-hmm.
We'll say one of the little moments of clarity you get is that your parents, possessed as everybody else in Brindlewood, the whole town was possessed by that angelic creature, that celestial creature. You did manage to save their lives.
Okay. So as a quick side note, I feel like that would change two things for Tolmond. Having altered the past slightly and becoming more engaged, Tolmond wouldn't be quite as free-spirited and curious. At least not quite. He would be, I'm not going to say jaded by any means, but what's the word I'm looking for? He would be a little bit more calm and collected most of the time. and much like Silverstring, would have been forced to either grow up or mature much sooner than anticipated. Because that would have put him in a situation to, in his mind, feel like an adult at about, 15, 16. There's a lot of weight behind the decisions he would have had to have made to support his father. But there would have been an understanding.
All right, for sure. Yeah, so just like I said, you'll have plenty of time to think about the changes. If you ever want to propose something or whatever, you can just do so throughout the week or the coming weeks. There's no time limit or anything, and take it from there. But right now, you wake up on a sunny beach. Sand is everywhere, and you're greeted by the dulcet tone of Silverstring hoarsely whispering "fuck you" into a sending stone. You do remember that the old man you bullied in the past, the assessor, that did go a little differently. It was very clear that they were kind of like if you were there, right, they were there, but it was clear that that old man with his poison dagger was probably like there were hints that was probably more there to kill you if he found you than to actually take you back.
We didn't kill him in the original timeline, did we?
No, you left him wrapped up.
Not
Nope.
originally.
Would you
We
kill
let
him?
him live, and
Would
we
you
left
kill him
him
now?
with the dagger.
Would we kill him now?
If you would try to, I would probably try to keep you from killing him.
Okay. I would have tried.
Yeah, because I would have tried to get you to avoid killing him. Because one of the things that Will's doing is trying to keep the timeline going.
Yeah.
Like, keep the path going.
Ooh.
I've been hunted relentlessly, though.
But,
Creatures deserve to
that
die.
would just be so that it didn't change Silverstring and didn't change the group. It didn't change his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think that after everybody left, Will would turn around and just drive his spear through the guy's heart before he left.
Oh,
shit.
you would become that character.
Just ice cold. Like he would have a moment where he holds Silverstring by the collar and looks him in the eye and says, "You're not. That's not who you are. You're not that man. That's not what you do. That's not who you are." And then after Silverstring walked out, Will would turn around and he'd be like, "But that is who I am." And then just stab the guy through the heart and then calmly turn and walk out like and wipe the spear off on the guy's clothes as he walks out the door.
On the ropes,
Just
yeah.
ice cold. And
So-
I do think he would try to avoid the corruption this go around because I don't think it has impacted the timeline. Like for good or ill,
Yeah.
I don't think the corruption has done anything. So I think he would try to avoid it.
But
But anything that's like a core, anything that's like a core timeline thing that he thinks would affect any of the other members, he would do everything he can to avoid that.
All right. So you wake up on a beach. The first to wake up would be Silverstring, who immediately grabs a sending stone and whispers "fuck you" into it. Also, I'll need at least a week to rewrite all the new versions of all that shit your father sent you for this new timeline. But that's coming, so yay. And as you whisper that, you look around.
Sorry.
No, it's wonderful because I like writing that stuff. But as you look around, it's a lovely sandy beach with some rocky cliffs nearby. No sign of the Well of Udir. Only your companions laying still slightly unconscious and groggily waking up slowly nearby. In the center of this bay, completely shrouded by the cliffs as it is, you can see a small dome-like island upon which is built, well, the ruin of what was once an ancient temple. Between you and that island, kind of where the beach meets the shore, there is a weathered plinth, just standing there, made out of ancient marble, withered away mostly. But there's something etched upon that plinth, but you'll need to get closer to see it. Now your companions are waking, Silverstring. But you're the first one awake. Is there anything you do besides whisper that fateful fuck you?
Roll over. Pick myself up. Just be like, fuck. This is where two memories become one. I don't.
Cat. Someone reblogged the fucking.
Oh no, what's going on?
Cat.
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 It's always cat.
Of course. I'll go over to like the water, the beach, scoop some in my hands, and just like splash it over my face. Just try to make sense of everything. Because I'm assuming this all came rushing back, kind of in a sense.
Yeah, the
Of
two
just like
timelines combine in your head, and you are just having the worst headache.
merged.
Yeah, it's like all the bad things are happening, but there's good things. But just given the nature of your family, they tend to go out of their way to make sure it's mostly bad. Nearby, Suzoda, you would be the next one to awaken, as Silverstring is washing his face with the beautiful turquoise waters of this beach.
Yeah, he sits up, just stares out at the beach, keeping an eye on Silverstring.
I'll get back over. Walk over to Saz. How was your journey through the well?
Clearly not nearly as traumatic as yours probably was, just based on.
It did not go well.
I'm sorry to hear that, friend.
That's what happens when you try to fight fate, I suppose. Fate has a way of stringing you back into place.
Unfortunately.
Oh, we should wake the others. I imagine we have to get over to that temple over there.
All right. You take Will, I'll take Tolmond.
Okay. I'll walk over to Will and just kind of jostle him a little bit.
I do the same with Tolmond.
As you're both being jostled, something happens that very rarely happens. At one moment, you're standing on this beach, jostling your friends awake. The light of Radiance casting everything in its perpetual glow. And then there is darkness. It's as if the sky flickers. The light goes out for about 5 seconds before the sun shines once more. Some would call this an eclipse, though there was never anything seen to block Radiance. So when Tolmond and Will awaken, they awaken in darkness. fleeting, but darkness all the same.
What the? What's going on?
I don't know. That is unusual. That's highly unusual.
It's the. Do you know what happens next? Will.
I have no clue. Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh. Tolmond?
No. How long has it been since this world has seen darkness?
What you don't see is
No idea.
distant lands, panic in the streets. People like, oh, this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Mass pandemonium as they think the world's ending. Yeah.
For 4 or 5 seconds, yeah.
Do you think it has something to do with the fact that there's only one way forward now?
All right. Nothing's changed. The goal is still the same.
What does it matter? I mean, we need to do what we need to do, but
All right, there you go. That's the spirit.
I'll just cock my head to the side, point in the temple, and just be like, "That's where we're going next."
It seems so. I can't see anywhere else.
Call it what you want, but it seems everything has changed.
Everything, and yet
Nothing.
looks at the group. Nothing.
Right.
Understood.
Well, we're not getting anywhere sitting here.
And you're certainly not getting any younger. Let's go.
So you approach the direction of the temple.
Right.
You can see that weathered plinth. And as you get closer, you can see etched upon its flat surface that same turtle symbol you had seen earlier, the mark of cone. It is a turtle on the back of which is a massive cathedral. It's a magical conduit, this symbol. You could feed it a spell slot to activate it. First levels, all that's required. Or ignore it. You know that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Bloop.
Bloop.
I'll place my hand on it.
Silver string.
Just.
Don't waste yours. Allow me.
No, I got this. I take
I
a
don't
short
have
little
many
nap, and
useful first level
then we're all
spells.
good. I mean, low-powered magic is low-powered magic. Is what it is.
As you feed that mote of possibility in the form of a spell slot into the plinth, the lines of the turtle etching begin to radiate with purple and pink energies before the glow brightens in a single flash, only to fade away. The world, much like it had when you had broken the sigil and summoned the turtle stampede, the world begins to rumble. The waves of the beach grow high, and the trees begin to sway.
Well, it looks as though we're going to do this again. Be on your guard.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a nice, lovely riding turtle to take us across the way.
Or a whole stampede of them.
Because everything has been so easy for us this far. And Tolman's going to go ahead and put a spell slot into his ring.
What spell are you casting into your
Which
ring?
spell?
Burning Hands.
Smart choice. Did you
So,
unattune your
quick question about
Ango's
that.
heart? Did you unattune Ango's heart or the book?
Angela's heart.
Okay. What was your question?
So, does the ring still interact with the book? Or, I'm sorry, would the ring interact with my book? Because the book allows me to cast quote unquote hand spells up one level. The ring allows me to cast spells at my int modifier level. Do those two interact?
Well, it allows you to cast one a day at your int modifier level. We'll discuss that later. Like, I don't think it's gonna be a necessary thing like right this instant, but we'll talk about that because I honestly don't know offhand because I didn't think about that. That was an oversight on my part. Is anybody else doing anything while the ground shakes?
I'm going to prepare to do my thing. Of course I forget the name of it off the top of my head.
Your monk thing.
Yeah, my wings unfurled thing that I can do with Step of the Wind. That was it. That was so fucking hard to remember, and I don't know why.
All right. So you wings unfurl, and what are you going with your wings?
Oh, I'm preparing to do that.
Okay.
The trigger will be if something comes out of the water, or no, the trigger is when I see what is making the ground shake, I guess.
All right. The ground shake and the waves grow tall and chaotic, forcing you to back away from the beach a bit. Nearby, in a bend, in a nearby bend on the beach, you do see like somebody had staked a boat to it, so it wouldn't float away, and now that is just bobbling wildly to and fro. On the distant island, stones fall from that ancient structure as it begins to move. First up, raising towards the heavens. Massive waterfalls falling from the architecture that had sunk below the waves. And then the structure moves closer, and the trembling grows louder, more frantic. Rocks falling all from the cliffs, trees falling over completely, until finally a massive turtle dragon, on whose back rests that ancient temple, sidles up to the shore, releases a massive yawn, and begins to eat the tops of the trees.
Well, this is fascinating, isn't it?
Of course it's a fucking turtle. Everything's fucking turtles.
I'm going to put an arm on Will's shoulder, and I'm going to say, "It's turtles all the way down."
Yeah.
It really is.
I mean,
It
what's even more
really
interesting
is.
I would say all aboard, but
cathedral.
I feel that's
The
apparent
massive
at this
turtle.
point.
Cathedral and the massive turtle. It is actually cone symbol.
If
After
nothing else, the old bastard had a good sense of humor.
After a few trees are eaten, each one with a single bite, followed by a loud crunch, the massive turtle island turns to you. Ah, so you are Khan's instruments. I cannot do his voice justice with my meager mortal vocal cords, but it is a deep, rumbling voice that causes the very ground to shake, and causes your mind to rattle just a little bit inside its skull.
Aye.
We are no instruments. We're his friends. Or at least, his new friends.
Ugh.
Oh, instruments enough, I think.
I did not think that Khan had it in him to make friends. The astrologer was always socially rough around the edges. Bends down, eats another tree.
And some of us are just rough.
So we are. Tell me, do you have the seed?
Aye, we do.
Good. Good.
What do you know of it?
I know many things about it. I know everything about it. But first, let's get introductions out of the way. May I have your names, mortals?
Aye. William Bran.
The turtle leans forward, taking a great sniff of the air. It's almost as if you're in a tornado. You can literally see the wind move with its breath. William. You have the smell of Udir on you. He turns to one of you at random. And who are you? Who's next?
Zoda. And he
Sazota.
bows.
You smell of Udir and dragons. Sky dragons.
I am closely associated with dragons. Yes.
That is either something good about your character or something foul. Only time will tell. But for now, I will call you friends, Azota. And what of you? He turns
Hello.
to Silverstring.
You are a marvelous, majestic being, my lord. My name is Renard.
Reynard. The dragon turtle leans over and takes a whiff. You smell of Udir and blood.
Yes. I may have stabbed my father while I was in there.
No. That is not whose blood I smell. Turns to Tolmond. And what of you?
Cross. Tolman Cross. Of House Cross.
What a name. I see many don't get cross with me jokes in your future, lad.
Oh, I regret not making one already.
Very well, Will, Reynard, Sizota, and Tolmond. I am Concoshton, the Living Temple, first consort of Melora, and father of sea dragons. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I could smell Melora on you. You have her seed.
Concoction, you say?
Concoshton, yes. The Living Temple.
Well,
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm sorry for our compatriot's rudeness there. Do you know why Cone would have us come here?
Because
Said you would have.
Cone was part of me. I created him for a singular purpose. And that was for you to get the seed safely through the Well of Udir and through the trials and tribulations to come. Come, crawl upon my back, and we shall take to the sea, away from this place, where we can talk without prying ears.
And whose ears would be prying in a place as remote as this?
the same who watch Silverstring.
Ah, that is true.
Would you trust the trees with your greatest secrets?
Can you actually stop them? They have hounded me for my lives.
Dear little Reynard, I am a master of the sea. When I take upon the waves, not even the stars can find me.
Not even the stars with eyes.
Stars are stars, I guess.
So you figured that part out at least. Good, good. Con had wisdom in his selection. At least. Now call upon me. We have much to discuss, and I would love to get to know old Melora's new apostles.
Right.
Let us be
Off we
quick
go then.
Yeah, wings unfurled. Bam, I'm there.
Make yourself comfortable.
Will sort of frown at the flying and climb.
The
As I
giant.
walk up
Yeah.
horizontally, I'll just like offer Will a hand.
Very well. Let's be on our way. And with that, the great turtle dragon turns slowly into the waves and begins with you on its back, swimming away towards the horizon. You can place your tokens or not. I don't know if you can see the map without tokens. You should be able to.
I cannot.
I can't.
Okay.
Oh, there I go. Oh, it's animated.
Where are
That's
people?
so
Sorry?
cool.
Here? Oh,
Anywhere in the
Good to
middle.
know.
there we go.
The game just decides
Cool.
to like operate.
Just a heads up, I don't know how much longer I can
That's
do
a
Concashton's
cool
voice without my throat killing me.
I You can drop
Feel
it.
free to
We're not gonna
drop
judge
it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get the idea.
The dragon turtle concoction, the living temple, lazily swims out into the open sea. The sea devoured by its lazy movements, but such is his size that great swaths of movement are achieved with these lazy strokes. Soon you begin to see shadows in the water. Sharks and large fish, other turtles and octopi and various other creatures all forming in this concoction side and wake, as if greeting an old friend or the sea itself. You're standing in the ruins of a small temple. Temple ruins being a thing you're familiar with, having jumped into the Well of Deer in the ruins of an ancient temple, and now standing in one built upon this creature's back. In the center is an aged statue dedicated to Malora. You know this because that dedication of Malora's name is written at the base in every script known to humanoid kind. It is a beautiful statue, and there is a resonance to it. Your seed, you can tell just from your connection to it, was once, before its evolution, a shard of this woman's divinity, this goddess's divinity. And so it is, you find yourself standing on the temple part of Temples and Turtles, as the great sea beast continues to swim mouth under the water. You have moments to yourself to explore. The magic here is radiant. This is clearly a place of power. And this is clearly a creature of immense power. But for now, you have a moment to yourselves.
This is quite amazing. How is our little godling feeling in this moment?
I don't know.
Would you like to reach out to the godling?
Yeah,
Aye.
Kylos.
Roll a d100, please.
100%.
Alright, so now that it's more of a deity and less just like a spiritual entity that was trying to become something more, drawing its attention is a roll similar to like Divine Intervention, right? Except you get plus 20 to it in addition to it has like a divinity rating. So right now you need a 23 or less in order to like call up its attention. But calling up its attention has a greater effect than it previously did. The Kylos remains silent because it either cannot hear you or it's too busy.
I mean, this is a portion of the divinity. We're here in the temple. Should we not take it to the altar?
I don't know that it wants to rejoin. It's kind of its own being now, isn't it?
It is, but I wonder if there are there shards or splinters that might remain.
Maybe we should ask Concasha to I can't say the name.
It would make sense. It's not the first time we've encountered divine shards.
Oh,
Kasha?
Koshton.
Concussion. Hmm? Though. We were told by Khan to be careful.
I don't know about the godling,
Do you remember?
but I mean to have a look myself. And then I'll approach the altar.
As you approach the altar, these lovely little butterflies made out of pure magical energy begin to flutter and swirl, combining until they form an illusory image of a turtle swimming through, well, nothingness, but it seems to be mimicking the motions of Concussion. And this little illusionary turtle on this little turtle altar turns to you and speaks, though in a lesser voice, not the same rumbly thing from a moment before, but in a gentler, soother thing. We can talk here while I swim. Just approach the altar and I will appear. You have my hospitality.
And he'll wave the others over. Well, if you don't mind my asking, where are you taking us to?
Right now, just into the open sea, so we can discuss things. And you can ask whatever questions you have at me. Then I must take you away from this place. For Yatar is no place for that godling, not now. If it stays there, you and it will die.
What hunts us?
An ancient creature of death and blood.
Mortal or divine?
You have many things hunting you. But the divine would not dare kill the godling. No. They seek to serve divinity, not usurp it. No, I am talking about his bloodline. The turtle points an accusing fin at Silverstring.
An accusatory fin.
LinkedIn.
Of course, my father has his grubby fingers all over this as well. How far does this
It's not your father that worries me. It's your mother.
What?
I thought your father was the...
Problem.
I
That's one
also
word
thought
for
it was your father.
Well, he is my problem.
But apparently not the problem. Or at least not the biggest problem.
Perhaps it is not my place to speak of things if you do not know your own family.
I'm still killing him.
Well, with that, I wish you luck. Whoever you decide to kill. Just keep the godling safe. That's all I want. I'm sure you have questions.
I will do.
I will divulge whatever information I can. But your questions give me a starting point, so ask away if you have them.
What is it that we can do to nurture it? To help it?
It's a godling. Gods feed on faith like mortals feed on food. It's time you had interested in religion. Or
Uh,
you can feed whatever shards of divinity you come across to it. I can see you fed it the shard I invested into Cone. So I myself have become a part of your... Wow, this little godling.
Not much of choice there. That was a little bit forced on us. We'd rather have Cone. Yeah.
I would too. I would have liked to see what that part of me could have become with 1,000 years of isolation from myself.
Eccentric.
So Cone
nothing
was
too concerning, though.
Oh God.
Ooh, that was good. I like that.
At that, the turtle the actual turtle, Concoction, raises his head out of the water and just blows a huge plume of steam into the air. You don't know if it's out of laughter or
Coco is
frustration.
laughing at his own stupid joke.
I think I can see that you frustrated the astrologer greatly.
Sadly, my time knowing him was short-lived.
I'd say that was frequently the truth.
I mean, we got him tortured for quite some time. 11 weeks or so. While
As a
we were...
youngest child, I'm used to creating disappointment.
Whoa. Tolman, do you think so lowly of yourself? Look at what we've accomplished.
We've come a long way.
I mean,
Made many sacrifices.
compared to me, you're not a disappointment at all. Everything in my life has turned to ash, so...
Ugh, I mean, we've got no choice but to move forward.
That is the only way.
You said we have to leave. I mean, where would we go? Where would we take him?
Good question.
Or at least, where should we start?
That is up to you. I could take you to any settlement that borders the sea and leave you there if you choose. If you need a respite away from the world, I can hold you here for some time as well. You will be safe with me. But you need to nurture and grow. What name has it declared for itself? What name have you given it?
Kylos.
Kylos, says the name almost reverently. You know, for centuries, when I gave that seed to the astrologer, I planned to rebirth Melora onto this wretched plane. But centuries is a long time to contemplate things. And I am many things, but I am not ignorant of the world, of the situation we find ourselves in.
You realized it couldn't be done.
No.
That things need to end and begin.
Yes. Life is a beautiful, powerful thing. But everything must come to an end. Even gods. And even if I could nurture and mold Kylos into Melora, it would not be Melora. I loved Melora for millennia. I was first consort to the goddess. It was I who picked up that shard and nurtured it, ensuring that the defilers did not consume it like it consumed the rest of her. And it was I who chose to stay here and tear my own divinity asunder, investing it into simulacra, on the off chance, on the hope that one day that seed would find its way back to me. And it has. But not in the astrologer's hand. Not in any of the other simulacra I created. But in the hands of 4 mortals. Trusted by the astrologer. I do not know why. So tell me, why should we leave the future of this god into your hands?
Because we believe. We've bonded with it.
It chose
we
us.
can, will, and have given everything.
It chose us. And we chose it.
Aye.
And if you're looking for a little bit more pragmatism in your answer, you said it yourself, it feeds on what mortals give it. Worship. Shards of divinity, whatever we offer it, it feeds on it. If it wants to grow.
Because we are capable of nurturing it, spreading it, growing it. For that you are not.
You
Not in the
mentioned
same way.
You mentioned more or other simulacra.
Yes.
Do they also roam the lands?
They do. Though their purpose was different than the astrologer's. I tore my divinity into 13 pieces and invested 13 simulacra with that divinity. For 2 reasons. 1, to give their tasks a hope for success. As you may know, simulacra cannot grow. They cannot become more than copies, ever disintegrating and fading. But with a shot of my former divinity, they became more than just snow cones. And the second reason, defilers are drawn to divinity, and mine, lesser though it was, would have seen me relentlessly attacked by them until I fell or they did. And it is not my place to end that threat. You smell of defiler. 2 of you do. Have you encountered one?
Aye. More than one.
And have you supped of its power? Have you defiled yourself with its twisted divinity?
Aye. Aye, we have. The godling would have taken it unto itself, but we couldn't allow that. So we took it on instead.
You took the corruption, so your god would not have to. Perhaps the astrologer was wise. Perhaps he chose correctly. That was good of you to do. But now, I suggest you cut it out of yourself.
You know how we go about doing that?
I do. It is through introspection and an understanding that you will lose part of yourself. But you will gain so much more. I can guide you through it, but it might take some time.
Let's sort of look around. Well, I'd say we have some time.
We don't have as much time as you think we do. The sky grows weak, and the stars no longer hide their perception from the world.
Yes, it grew dark earlier. I've never seen that before.
It's happened before. Once, it was decades between the flickers. Sorry, centuries. Now it's decades. The last one occurred before you were born, I suspect.
What do these flickers mean?
Do you remember what we spoke of moments ago? Everything ends.
Ah.
Halor brought Radiance into this world after his failure. So much was his guilt that he could not leave us in darkness. But how much power can a dead god have? Everything fades. Magic. And even divine works. How many have worshipped Palor in the centuries since his sacrifice?
Probably
many, I
not.
would imagine.
Radiance is
Right. A dead god.
dying. And this world will die with it. Don't
Is that
worry.
the purpose of the godling?
I'm always pleasant like this. No. The purpose of the godling, well, there are choices to be made. You can wander the world picking up the scraps of ancient divinity and feed it and grow its power that way. Or you can establish a religion and grow it the traditional way. However you choose. Know that the fate of this little piece of the material is in your hands. And the godlings, of course. I shall not speak of Kylos as if they weren't here. These choices are heavy. And it is not my destiny to walk them with you. I wish it was. Some parts would be easier. But I cannot make the choices you have to make. I love Malor too much. I can only hope. Perhaps I'll even pray to Kylos that you make the right ones. You have delved into the well of Udir. Do you know why I made any who would find me delve through that well? I take your silence as a no. Each one of you now knows the gravity of a single change. A single bit of knowledge. How much of your fate did you change in that well? The little illusionary turtle kind of leaves that question hanging onto the air, but you can tell that you're not expected to answer if you don't want to.
It's funny. A lot and yet nothing.
I hardly made a change at all.
Then you are wiser than I. For if I delve through that well, there is a great many things I would be tempted to change. And that is why I cannot walk this path with you. My knowledge, what knowledge I can give to you, I will give you freely. But if I make one wrong change, it can doom everything. And it is your burden now to know that if you make one mistake, one bad decision, at the most unopportune time, it is Radiance that will pay for it. No pressure.
Now I know where Cohen got his sense of humor from.
Yeah, chip off the old block. Or shell, in this matter.
Yeah, I find his bluntness refreshing. It reminds me of a friend.
Your other tasks that you set for the various pieces of yourself, have they been completed?
If they have not returned to report their success. It was imperative that they have free will beyond that of a normal simulacrum. Some of them may have succeeded, others may have failed. Others still may have become twisted by the world they found themselves in. It was the astrologer's mission to find and nurture that seed. And to find people worthy of bearing it. And so, he chose you. I cannot say I chose you. 1,000 years removed, that cone, while part of me, is different. And know that should you find other shards of me, they too will be different. You can't necessarily trust them. Just as I am certain that the astrologer has warned you not to trust me. I gave the astrologer my wisdom and foresight. I would have told you the same thing. Am I wrong?
Well, no.
No, you're not wrong.
Still got it.
Well, if we want to grow the power of Kylos, what do you guys think is the best way?
Well,
Shall
first
we all start bearing rusty crosses and speaking the good word, or?
I admit I like that approach, especially if we have something to rally behind, like a symbol. But religions are harder to start than you'd think, I suppose.
Particularly with another faith trying to stomp it out.
And especially without any, I guess, concrete idea of what our little godling can do and is capable of.
Perhaps we should start somewhere far away from the current faith that predominates everything. I'd like to start away from them and work our way back. If there's a place we could go to be far from their influence.
I can't really think of one.
Other questions come to mind. What about the Defilers? How do we stop them? And
Killing them has worked so far.
but even
Can't say that we'll necessarily be
Concussion.
able to continue doing that.
Concashton has said that they would hound him endlessly.
Aye.
That depends on the
And
Defiler.
also, what is my mother?
Sorry.
Oh? No worries.
Can you help us be free of the defilement and cleanse others?
Cleansing a Defiler who's lost themselves in their power is impossible. You two have defiled yourself, but you have not lost your mind. You can be helped. No. The Defilers, do you know what they are?
They look like consumed people.
They were people,
Aye, the last one, mate. Aye.
just like you.
They have failed.
No.
The last one, when we killed it, it's almost like it had someone inside of it.
Once this world, he says world a little sarcastically, was swarming with gods. The celestial bureaucracy, some called it. They weren't too far off. Gods governed streams, roads, as well as cities, civilizations, mountains, and even the sun. Thousands of gods working in unison to shepherd a better world. It was beautiful. And then someone learned that they could consume these lesser gods ritualistically and take their power for themselves. A little god is nothing compared to the might of Malora or Pelor. But 1,000, 10,000. The first Defiler had many acolytes, and other people soon learned that they too could devour divinity. How long do you think the world would last once humanity realized they could gain power in such a way?
Not too long, I'd imagine.
Aye.
The more war inclined it'd be at each other's throats.
Exactly. And the greater celestial gods were too busy with their duties to notice, until it was too late. And then when it was too late, they were desperate. What do you think happened then?
They turned on each other, I'd imagine.
Or they
War
perform
between
some rash
humanity
action.
and the gods.
The half-elf got it. They performed an act of desperation. Pelor used himself as bait to draw the Defilers into one small part of what was once known as the Material. And then together with the last of the gods, they ripped it apart so that it could no longer defile the whole. Congratulations. You're on the wrong part of the world.
And here with the seed.
Yes. Yes, you're here with the seed. The plan didn't go well. Pelor died. Malor died. The god of death died. And with them, the last of the gods fell into silence. Save for the one in your soul. And that is the history of why we are here. The Defilers still walk this world. They will be drawn to your divinity. Protect it. And know that if you ever need safe refuge, I will leave my temple open to your presence. It is good to have one means of escape in a world gone to shit.
Your hospitality is appreciated.
Thank you. It is not so easily
Indeed.
given. Very well, I have told you my version of events.
One last question.
Go on.
I appreciate everything they've said for us so far, and this may be a bit of an aside. But what does my mother have in all of this?
What do you remember of your mother?
This is where I quickly scroll up to my own back. What?
Who barely mentions your mother? It's just kind of assumed you have one.
Yeah, right? I'm like, I don't remember much. She wasn't around much. Mostly we were raised by caretakers. I always assumed my father was the patriarch, as it were, of the household.
So
He was definitely more involved in...
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Brain hurties. Lovely. Okay. Wisdom, where are you at? Blop.
So you've never
Not
met
horrible.
your mother? It's always been assumed you had one, but you've never met her. She's always been away.
Oh.
She's always been busy. You've seen paintings of her in your manor. But you've always had caretakers. You've always had somebody else taking care of you. But you remember two memories of where you heard your mother speak. Or in this case, sob. You remember the jubilant exaltation of glee when you stabbed your little baby sister the first time. And you remember her sobs as you stabbed your father and rescued Maria the second time.
Oh my.
Do you think a 21 would be enough for me to draw strings for you, or would you like that to work that out on your own? What your mother is, or who your mother is.
I'm gonna hand this one off to you.
You not born of a mother per se. Your mother was the bloody pool upon which the altar stood. You were born of blood, not woman.
Oh.
Mhm.
Oh.
And it's only after living 2 lives that you start to think, that you start to realize this. You look exactly like your father. Exactly. You've seen pictures of your grandfather. Your father looked exactly like him. Each one a father, each one a brother, each one born from that same bloody pit that spawned you. And each one, well, the pit seems to not tolerate daughters. For one reason or another. That I won't give to you.
Yeah, I would have never figured that out.
Yeah,
That's so
your
cool.
family's weird. I made your family so weird.
I'm a test tube baby.
Nice.
You're just a test, period.
Quick, see if he has a belly button.
All families have problems, right?
Hi.
Well, most families have people.
I'm just gonna collapse to my knees for a bit.
What even are you, Silverstream?
Sit.
Where does your Dampier power come from?
Hmm.
Did your
Comes
parents
from that
have to
bloody
make the
pool.
same choices as you? Are your parents you? Are you just a clone, a copy? It's all rattling
This is all
around
racing
in
through.
your brain meat. Yeah.
Yeah. What? What am I? What?
I'll tell you what you are.
What?
You're a silver string.
It's gonna be.
You're our companion. You've been
You're
in
what
this
you
this
make
whole
yourself
time.
to be.
Aye, that's exactly right.
I'll pull myself up and look at Will. I thought you were gonna say something douchebaggy.
That's not the time.
He can save that for later, bud.
Thank you, friends. Whatever it is, I am different. I hope.
I think you are.
You're definitely different, all right.
Here, there it is.
You didn't have to wait long.
You. I hope you know you guys have changed me.
I don't think
together
any of
we
us
shall
are the
change the
same as when
world.
we started. Yeah.
Hmm. Even if I am a copy. Like a cone, maybe I gain my own independence. Or maybe not.
I
Life
think
does.
you've obviously grown beyond them.
Haha. We'll see, they still hunt. Ah,
Aye, but I don't know if any of the others have ever broken away the way you did.
maybe.
It doesn't sound like it.
Who is to say? What is my mother then? This bloody pool with emotions? That is some power. Do you know? Ah! Ashton, do you know what the being that birthed me would be then? Or any kind of part of it?
I have suspicions, but nothing I can put to words. You are more than human. You are more than the Dhampir blood in your veins. You are an acolyte of Kylos, and that is enough.
Enough for me, anyway. On your feet.
To say being an Akim was enough. That's funny. But at least now this is something I believe in. At least now there's hope. So yes, it is enough.
Do you know what Akim means in the old tongue?
I'm sure its true meaning was kept from me on purpose.
It merely means born of blood. It is a title more than a name. Whether or not you discard it, whether or not you bear it, you are exactly who you need to be. And if a part of me trusts you, despite everything, I have no reason not to trust you. It is out of our fins. Thank you. Someone got the inside joke to that. Someone got.
You're welcome. I'm just on fire with getting the inside jokes here. It's great.
Don't let these thoughts grow heavy.
Momentarily would be nice.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
No worries. Yeah. Keep going.
Don't let these events and these thoughts weigh heavy on any of you. To endure the Well of Udir is to endure a great many things. To come out of it unscathed is impossible. And every one of you has a burden to bear from that experience. And if you could not bear it, then you would not have made it to me, and you would not be worthy as acolytes of our new god. Rest well here. I will teach you how to rid yourself of the defilement. You may take of my hospitality. The bushes here are ripe with ingredients important for a great many magics. And I myself will give you an item so that you can return to me should you need my counsel, or to rest from the wickedness of this world. Until then...
Perhaps I could trouble you for...
For what?
Never mind. Go ahead. You first. Oh, just for a bit of the ocean's bounty. A fish or two to cook for later.
Ah. You've taken to the Acolyte's life. Quickly. Already asking for sacrifice.
Yes, dinner is the ultimate sacrifice.
Ah, then let us sacrifice to Kylos and to dinner. And with that, like, a giant tuna just, like, fucking just yeets itself out of the ocean to land next to the statue of Melora, where it flops around for a little bit before dying.
Well, hope you guys like tuna.
I don't think I've ever had it. But there's a first time for everything.
I particularly recommend the
I
belly
really-
meat.
Never eaten a tuna. I just tend to tune my lyre.
You can tune a lyre, but you can't tune a fish. And I pick up the tuna, and I'm going to start prepping the fish.
There it is.
All right.
Did you say you need all of us, like all 4? Could we do this with just 3?
Already trying to get rid of me, huh?
The illusory Turner just turns to Zoda. Someone needs to lighten the mood. You 3 are far too dour.
Oh, I.
All right. And with that, you'll spend some time here on the turtle. Go ahead and... who wants to roll some dice? That may or may not be important.
Oh,
I like dice.
important
but
dice? No, thank
So
you.
Zoda, go ahead and roll 3D,
I'm going.
3d6 for me,
It goes
please.
as. Yeah.
All right.
8. And so it is that upon the back of Concoction, the Living Temple, the next 8 weeks are spent learning how to exorcise yourself of this defilement, as well as to harvest any of his bounty, and have any conversations you so choose. If there's anything specific you would like to ask that you just remember later, we can always revisit this, because we'll start here at the next session. But it will be 8 weeks of downtime for you to complete any downtime actions you can feasibly consider while riding on the back of a giant dragon turtle. And then 2 of you will be exercising your defilement. I will go into the specifics of that next session, because it's more of a meditation, an internal severing of power from the soul. Something that's narratively very grave, but mechanically not so much.
I'm guessing this is a shit ton of long rests.
Yeah, it's a lot of long rests. This is down. You can take. This is downtime actions. If you have downtime actions you want to do, everybody will get downtime actions.
Someone's reading a scroll. Yeah.
Coleman's reading
I
a
think the
scroll and
only
a book.
one I would want to do. I wonder how. Do I already have expertise with that? Hold on. What do you mean not proficient? I am proficient with this. Hold up. No, I am proficient with it. Okay. How much downtime would it be to get expertise in cook utensils?
Expertise? Oh, it's gonna be longer than 8 weeks. Like learning a language, I think, is like 200
okay.
and something days.
Damn it, I know a lot of those. Okay.
The real myth of D&D is just knowing all the languages. I'm a commoner. I speak 5 tongues. But no, expertise, I would take a while. Usually, that's not something you could just do with downtime. I'll let you learn skills over very long downtimes, because sometimes I'll give like years of downtime in certain campaigns. But expertise, like that's another thing, because it's kind of stepping on the toes of other classes.
True.
I'll have to like think about that one, but it's probably going to be a no.
I am cool with that. I will think of something else this loser can do over his downtime then.
Yeah, there are downtime actions listed in Xanathar's as well, of anything else you can think of. I know Tolman's gonna read his book and his scroll, I'm sure.
That is correct.
And then we'll get to
That
the rest.
is correct.
But I am gonna go ahead and end the session here, because it's a good ending spot. And I'm mentally exhausted.
I gotta look through Xanathars later.
Alright, stop
Oh, valid.
recording now.